Hello, hello, hello. You know what time it is? You know what time it is. Oh my goodness. Let me grab some paper over here. You know what time it is. We are officially writing it down, baby. 26 days away. You understand what I'm saying? 26 days away. Can you see that? 26 days away from Notre Dame in Miami. Oh my goodness. We got a great show today, man. We got a great show. Gio Million. Gio Million. I mean, this dude is all over the Canes. Every podcast. He was on Locked on Canes yesterday with my boy, my dude, Alex Dano. To me, and I'm going to be honest with you, Alex Dano is the best in the game. Alex Dano is the best in the game. And that dude, you know what I like about Alex Dano? Always positive and uplifting, right? I mean, and to watch him, I started watching him when he first started the Locked on Canes podcast, and I saw it grow, man. I saw it grow. I think I actually started watching it when I only had 1,000 followers. And now I think he has over 20,000 followers. It's amazing. What's up, Blue? Good morning. Good morning. Let's do this. What's up, Joshua? You know what the deal is. Traveling fools. What's up? What's up? What's up? Let's do this. So Gio Million's going to be on in a second, but I want to get started. I just want to give a big shout out. And this is going to be a weird shout out, I know, to the Notre Dame trolls. To the Notre Dame trolls, you are amazing. Because by far, you remember when Miami beat Florida. Miami, if there was a college ranking in trolls, Miami would be #1 national champion every single year. Let's be honest. Miami, we bring it in national championships in talking smack, in trolling. But I got to say, just like in the game we're going to play August 31st, Notre Dame is #2. They will lose that game to Miami, and they are #2 in trolling, but they're good at it. So I'm be honest with you. I'm going to do a podcast probably this week of just all the troll comments. If you didn't see my last podcast, it's so fun to just read their comments. Because I love it. Because they're like, well, you don't know the exact facts. And you don't know about Notre Dame. And you don't know about this guy. And you don't know about that guy. And I said, hey, I don't care. You know why? Because if you wanted facts, if you wanted actual numbers, you would listen to your Notre Dame experts. I am not a Notre Dame expert. Well, you don't know about it. And they were like, I go, did you not? Did they not read the name of the podcast? Comics on Canes. It's not experts on Canes. You got Alex Dano for that. You got Gio Million who brings it for that. That's why they're on this show. Big shout out. I got to get Alex Dano on this show, by the way. But you come to this show because I'm going to give you the real. I'm going to tell you what I think, and we're going to have fun with it. And for all the trolling that Notre Dame did, oh my goodness. And what I did is I write back in the comments. They think, this was funny to me, they think them trolling me. I'm a comic. Comics troll each other all the time. I troll my friends, they troll me. Nothing affects me on that level. So I don't know the name of how to pronounce your 2 quarterbacks going after the first team job. You know why I don't know their names? Because they're not stars. Because they throw in interceptions. Well, they're going against the best defensive backs in the country. Oh, really? Well, the 2 passing teams you played, they threw all over you. Yeah, look it up. If you want some facts, look it up. The 2 biggest passing teams you played threw all over you. Look it up. Look it up, Buttercup. So anyway, Notre Dame, here's one of the biggest things they wrote. And I'm going to tell you, and I said this, and Gio's going to be on in a second, but I got to get out all the trolling commentary because I don't want Gio involved in that. Gio's a professional. So they go, I said this in the podcast. I go, if Miami stops the run, Miami will win this game. And I don't think it'll be close. Because if you put it in any one of those quarterback hands, they're going to lose that game. This is not the same Miami secondary. And I said that. And so their comments back was, well, if you stop Love, we got this guy and this guy and this guy and this guy. I don't care. I said, if Miami stops the run, that's not just Love. That's you can put Rudy. You can put Rudy in the backfield. If we stop him, we win the game. You can put Jesus Christ in the backfield. You know the one that's hanging in the back? You can put him in the backfield. If we stop the run, we win the game. That's 100% it. That's all I'm saying. So you can name all your backup running backs. You can name everybody that ever played for Notre Dame. If we stop the run, we win that game. And I already answered the question about me not knowing your players. As long as I know our players, and if you watch this podcast, sometimes we don't know the first and last name of our own players. But we bring the facts. We bring the angle. When the games start, we give you the real. Finesse Mitchell is on. We got a lot of comics across the country that love the Miami Hurricanes and hate the Miami Hurricanes. They come on and talk about it. You know, we still trying to get Bert Kreischer with Florida State. He kind of disappeared on us last year. Ain't that right, Bert Kreischer? Ain't that right? 2-10, I couldn't find Bert Kreischer. You know, we texted a couple times before, and then they went 2-10. Bert Kreischer was like, Where Bert Kreischer? Because I would love to have Bert Kreischer on this show talking about Florida State. Who would not love that? The machine on Comics on Canes talking about Florida State. Did you happen to see Florida State videos coming out? Why are they letting media in there? Why are they letting people even take videos of their practices? No energy, lame. They already look tired. I mean, they may win 3-4 games this year. I don't know. But Notre Dame, man, I love you, Notre Dame trolls. Let's go through some. If you have any comments, this is the first thing. Now, let me tell you something. This is the first thing out the box. Out the box, I'm going to ask Gio. Hearing a lot of reports out there, man. Hearing a lot of reports. Let's talk about it. Yesterday on every podcast and the day before, it's like, oh, who's standing out in practice? Receivers, CJ, Malachi, Joshua Moore. You know what name we're not hearing? JoJo Trader. You know what the big rumor is? He's hurt. And when you ask somebody in the know if he's hurt, you know what their comment is? No comment. So Gio Million, if you're watching this, first thing I'm going to ask you, man, what's up with JoJo Trader? If you don't answer it, then we know. Hopefully Gio still comes on, because that's the thing, man. And a lot of people already, and I saw on the boards, a lot of people already say, JoJo, injury prone, blah, 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 blah. Sometimes kids take time to adjust to college football. Their bodies take time to look at Arroyo. He was hurt for 2 years before he got it together. So I don't think this is the end for JoJo, even if he is hurt. Even if he doesn't play this whole year, which I think he will. I heard the injury's not that bad. These are the rumors I'm hearing. I can't confirm or deny. I don't know. But I know they're not mentioning him when they talk about receivers, because I think JoJo's a beast. And JoJo's going to help this team out next year. And if he is hurt, all the best to him. I hope he gets well. But some players just get injured. And it takes time to adjust. Do you understand going from high school to college, the different level of energy? And it seems like, and correct me if I'm wrong, it seems like that happens to a lot of our players. Just in the past 4 years, it seems like some of our star players are always hurt, right? Some of them are getting hurt all the time, you know? But that's the way it is, man. Sometimes it takes people's bodies time to adjust. Let's go through some of your comments right now. Notre Dame game will not be close. I agree. I said Miami stops the run and puts it in that quarterback's hand, it's going to be a blowout. Somebody, and I'm going to stick, somebody getting blown out that game. Either Miami can't stop their run and they're going to run all over Miami, or Miami stops the run and beats them down. I don't think this is a close game. And I will say this. I think Miami playing Notre Dame their first game is the best scenario for Miami because you want to catch this quarterback on his first game out. You don't want to catch him 8 games into the season when he's comfortable. You want to make it uncomfortable right from the get. All right. Malachi is pushing the start. I hear you, Joshua. I'm here now. Oh, are you ready, Gio? I'm looking at Gio right now. All right. Let me bring Gio in right now. There he is. Hold on. Let me put the little Comics on Canes thing around here. All right. Nope, you're not Rudy. There we go. Gio Million. What's up, bro? How are you, man?
Hey, how you doing, Mike?
Dude, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Notre Dame fans are trolling me. Absolutely love it. They're coming up. But see, they forget I'm a comic, Gio. I'm used to trolling. I troll back. So I love it. I love it. But I'm bringing you on because you're a professional. You know facts. You were at the practice yesterday. Did they have a practice today?
Today is closed to the media. There's some walkthrough work they're going to go through, and I believe it'll be back open to media either Wednesday or Thursday. One of those 2 days it'll be open again. But there's been some closed practices already, though. That I've gotten some great details out of just private sessions and things that we can't see from the media. So
I want to tell you,
you can shoot me any questions. I could tell you who's actually standing out.
Okay, so we are live. I told you I was going to take this, but I just decided to go live. We're on Twitter right now, and we're on, of course, YouTube. Now, if you're watching this on Twitter, I believe, because I've tried to hit you with a comment on Twitter, but they don't really see those. You see the ones on YouTube. So just to let you know, if you hit me up on Twitter, and you got to go to the YouTube feed to actually get your question in. So I want to ask you about this. First of all, your Discord is amazing. And I'm saying that because every time, this is what I don't like about your Discord, Gio. I don't know how to sign up. I've been trying to pay for the service. I don't know how to do it. Every time I click in, I don't know what to do.
So when you're on Discord, there's a side menu to the left where things will pop up. It'll say like the buzz. The buzz is like the main page of like it's like a private channel where people are getting information from me, things that are getting shared to me that I put in there. There's other things like there's some basketball stuff as well, and on some other channels. And sometimes I write these long form articles that are detailed and people have really appreciated. But on that side menu, if you go up to server subscriptions and you go in there, if you click inside of that, it'll show where you can actually subscribe. Like it'll literally have the subscribe button there.
Okay. Because I'm trying, Gio. I want to be part of your Discord because you break so much stuff that we don't see. And by the way, everyone, sign up for Gio's Discord because he gets information you'll hear a day later, sometimes weeks later. So boom. And I told my audience before you even came on, I was on for like 10 minutes before you came on. Every report I'm hearing, we heard a lot about CJ, Malachi Tony, Joshua Moore. The receiver we stopped hearing about is JoJo Trader. Now, either he just fell off a cliff or the dude is hurt. I know if he's hurt, you can't comment. So what can you say?
He had a nice start to open up camp. I know everyone's concerned, like, is he hurt or not or whatever. I'm not going to delve too deep into it. Just if anyone's wondering overall, like, what happens, he'll be fine. It won't be too long from what I understand. Okay. But he was doing great before. I mean,
all right. I don't want to get you in trouble either, so don't say too much, but I think we all get the point. I do not want Mario to be like, Gio, I heard you with Michael Yo. No. Okay. So I am going to say it because I don't care. It seems like JoJo's hurt. It seems like it's not a big deal, and it seems like he'll be back soon. Gio has nothing to do with my statements on this show. All right, we'll move on. You were at this closed practice, Gio. What did you see that stood out the most?
Well, I wasn't there, but I know people who've watched
the
private portions, and they've shared some details with me. I'll put it to you this way. Beck I would say he has a really great early connection with Ray Joseph right now. I know everyone's talking about CJ Daniels and Malachi Tony, and CJ Daniels has been very good and steady, by the way. It's been very good and steady. But if there's been a guy that has had that consistent connection with Beck through, let's see, we're coming on day 6 of camp, it's been Ray Joseph. And I don't get me wrong. I think Malachi Tony's going to be special. I think he's going to be really good. He's still getting reps with the ones along with Ray, but Ray Joseph, he's been the guy. He has.
can I tell you, he's been behind X for 2 years. And what changed with my outlook on Ray Ray, because you really don't get to know these players when they're backups. But when he came out and made that statement about Miami, how, hey, man, I'm here to compete. I ain't going nowhere. That, man, I tell you, talk about a fan base that just fell in love and said, that's old school Miami right there. I'm not going to leave. I'm going to grind it out. And, man, I hope Ray Ray starts. I hope he has a fantastic season. Ray Ray, if you ever watch this, I'm a big fan because of that statement, because we all know as Miami Hurricane fans, you put your heart into it and you love this school. And I think actually, not just the fan base, I think that touches the coaches in a way that could, look, it's all about performance, but in the back of their mind, they're like, this dude was down from day one. You know, let's look out for this dude.
Yeah, I mean, I'll put it to you this way, just short story on like his whole recruitment and whatnot. So when Manny Diaz was head coach, I was reaching out to some of these kids that were getting invited to a summer cookout, like the usual summer cookout recruiting event before dead period hits that all coaches used to try to do. I reached out to Ray Ray, and we're talking about this is almost 4 years ago. And he said, no, Miami didn't invite me. And I was like, what? They didn't invite this kid? I thought it was strange. And then lo and behold, it comes out that Manny Diaz really wasn't recruiting Ray Ray at all. And then when Mario Cristobal came into town, things changed. Ray Ray was committed to Clemson, was taking some secret visits to Miami, going to practices and whatnot. And sure enough, he ended up staying home. He always wanted to be a Miami Hurricane. So I think like the fans' perspective that always say that we want guys that want to be Hurricanes, he kind of falls in line with that. He's through and through Miami. He's cut his teeth for the past 2 years. Everyone's kind of down and sour about last year because he didn't really get that involved. I like to think this way when it comes to college football players and just roster management. I've always had the belief that I give players about 3 years to give a real good general idea of what they are going to be, because everyone develops at different stages. They do. Ray Ray, it's never been a case of, oh, is he putting in enough work? Is he doing this or is he doing that? He's been doing all the extra things. But I think that competition with Malachi Tony coming in the spring, and Ray Ray has responded to that. And then you bring in Tony Johnson now for fall, and Ray Ray has responded to that. Competition brings the best out of everyone. And I think Ray Ray is bringing his best right now. And again, a lot of buzz behind Malachi Tony, and rightfully so. He's had some nice plays, especially even in the media portions. He had a nice deep ball touchdown yesterday. But and CJ Daniels, super consistent, physical guy. I wouldn't say he would beat you off the line with his speed, but in terms of like how he runs his routes and how efficient he is when it comes to not having like wasted motion. Again, just veteran guy, a guy that's coming into his 6th year of college football. There is good things going on with the receiver room. I know we spoke about JoJo and that situation, but some other guys, I'll give an example because some people have been asking me about this because there's been reports about Keelan Marion and like, oh, he hasn't really shown anything yet. People have to remember that comes from the media portion side of things. Keelan Marion on Sunday, I was told he had a really nice practice, actually, was able to stretch the field. He gives that factor in there. He was playing some Z receiver, and they even have some trick plays in there for him too. I don't want to delve too deep into that. Yeah. I think people got to hold their horses, hit the brakes a little, because there's some overreactions to things we're seeing in the media portion that are not being shown from the outside, like when they go 11 on 11 outside on Cobb Stadium.
Now, and also, let's be honest, I think Keelan is going to really shine in kickoff returns. Like, we haven't had that in 20 years. I mean, well, maybe less than that here and there, but consistent, just being able to return a punt or a kickoff or a touchdown, it's kind of like it was non-existent. But I feel like his biggest thing is that threat. At least when he catches the ball, something can happen. But yeah, he can stretch the field. I want to get back to the receivers. With the receivers, last year was pretty much 4 receivers. Luke got mad about it, started complaining about it. But this year, I see that you could have like an 8-man rotation. this year, or maybe even more, just people coming in and out. I see it more. I see like receivers, the top receiver having 700, but a lot of receivers having 400 to 600 yards in receiving.
Yeah, I could see a scenario playing out like that. Reason being so is Tony Johnson, veteran guy that just arrived here for fall camp. He's had some nice moments too. I think the biggest thing that sticks out about him is as a route runner. I would consider him like a technician type of guy, good hands, solid hands. Not overly explosive, but I think people kind of exaggerated like, oh, he's not fast or whatever. He's got some speed to him. Joshua Moore in particular, I think if you ask me anyone on this team who brings a true vertical deep threat, and you wouldn't think so if you look at the stature, you think, oh, 6'4", 215, he's a possession guy. He's catching in traffic, contested balls and things like that. No, he can get downfield. And when he does, he is tough to stop. Very tough. And I'm talking about not just young defensive backs on the team. It's veteran guys that are having some trouble with him too. His build is great. You're talking about a guy that's 6'4", 215, has been clocked as fast as 22 miles per hour in the offseason training program. He can run. He can run. When he gets steam going downfield, he can run. So I think Joshua Moore can carve a role out for himself. And even Dalen Upshaw.
Yes, he's having a big –
last few practices, he's had some plays. I'm not sure exactly how much he'll play this year, but if they do need him to contribute, he can. And Chance Robinson now, he's healthy. The last two practices, especially when they've gone out for 11-on-11 outside, he's produced. I'm talking about getting downfield, contested catches, quick outs. Just there's a lot of talent in that receivers room. And people have been asking me this all offseason. They're like, oh, what do you think about the receivers? What do you think about the receivers? I think the receivers are going to be fine. Do I think they're going to be elite this year? No, I don't think there's enough experience for it to be an elite group. But I do think they're going to be good enough to get the job done. I think Carson Beck is going to elevate them too and make them look better. And every single time Kevin Beard has been a wide receiver coach at the University of Miami, his units always produce. So to me, all signs are pointing towards they're going to get the job done. And then that doesn't even include the tight ends. Yeah. You have Elijah Lofton, Alex Bowman. Alex Bowman looks really good.
Okay, so we talked about that. What I want to do before we talk about the running backs, I want to show people this. I put a link. Gio looks good in that. Gio and Yo, I want to talk about this real quick. Me and Gio are getting together August 29th, 2 days before the big game at Fort Lauderdale Improv, doing a podcast. It's free to get in. You have to buy your drinks and food, but I'm decorating a place all in my, it's just for fans, man. It's just an appreciation for the fans. Come out, it's free. Celebrate with us. We're going to have some ex-players pop by. Alex Dono, if you're watching, I would love for you to pop by, get him on. But I think it's going to be fun. It's called the Gio and Yo Beat Notre Dame show. And we're going to have it as a podcast. We're going to tape it and put it out probably the next day. But come on by. And like I said, I think it's a success to me if 20, 30 people come out. But I have a feeling that a lot of people are coming in town early. And it's going to be a great thing. Free August 29th, 4:30, Fort Lauderdale Improv, Gio and Yo, and whoever else pops by. And we'll be taking questions too. If you have a question, you want to be on the podcast, we'll do that. The link is at the beginning of this, and I'll put the link in again if you want to see it. So we're excited about that. And then I have 2 shows later that night doing comedy. But man, thanks for teaming up with me, Gio.
Of course, anytime.
All right, so running backs. Fletcher, I heard is looking great. I heard all 3 are looking great. What's your info on that?
Fletcher's in the best shape of his entire career. I've said that all offseason. It's his first full offseason because when he arrived as a freshman, he came in the fall. Last year, he had the foot thing going on. It was kind of up in the air if he was going to be ready. He didn't participate in spring last year. Most of fall camp he missed. They were taking like precautionary measures there, and he was ready to go by the Florida game. But this year, best shape he's ever been in. 225 right now. He's about 6'2", 9% body fat as well. He's in great, phenomenal shape. And again, it's a money year for him too. It's his third year as a running back at the collegiate level. Most guys, they want to get their 3 years in and get out and try to get to that second contract in the league, because just running backs don't get valued the same way anymore. But I think he's primed for a good season. He'll be fine. Jordan Lyle in particular, I know this sounds crazy considering how good he looked last year when he got his opportunities. But basically what I was told coming out of the private sessions, out of these practices, is that he looks better than he did last year. And he's obviously looks bigger. Everyone's seen the pictures. Yeah. But two things stand out was one, gets through the hole very quickly and into the second level. That's biggest thing right there, is that he can get to that second level, and he can make guys miss too. Thing with Shamar Brown, I'll share this. The comparison that was made, that was shared to me, I thought this was really interesting. And a lot of people have noticed this too, that before I share the comparison, he's faster than people were anticipating for him coming into the program. Some people weren't sure like exactly how explosive he was going to be, like how quick or fast, but he's got some wheels on him for his size. So the comparison that was made to me after someone watched him up close and 11 on 11, it was Travis Homer, but bigger. I found that interesting because I thought Travis Homer was a pretty good running back for Miami.
Now, we talked about receiver elite, running backs elite, and my opinion. And I kept thinking about this because I think Fletcher and Lyle and Brown are great. But I'm also thinking with the receivers, we haven't had an elite receiver in a while. But I'm also thinking the only way to be elite, and I always think about what I say, is you have to touch the ball a lot. And I think it's not that these running backs aren't elite. No running back or receiver will get enough touches to be elite, because you need to be like having like 30, 40 carries a game to be elite. When you're sharing what I think, if I was a running back, I would only want 15 to 20 carries max a game, because you're saving yourself for the NFL. So when I'm thinking about nobody has been elite in Dawson's system, it's because it's set up that way. Because you have to be a Jeremiah Smith to be elite in that system, where they're going to be like, all right, we're going to throw you the ball pretty much 70% of the time. Or you're going to run the ball. We're going to give you the ball 80% of the time in running plays. So maybe that's why no one has popped as elite. Not that they aren't elite. It's just, it's hard to be elite in that system.
I think some things that come into play now, it has a lot to do with the landscape in college football now that you have the transfer portal and this conveyor belt of sorts of guys coming in and out of programs. And the other thing is too, freshmen now also are coming in more prepared now than ever before. A lot of that has to do with training regimen that they have coming into the collegiate level, or just specific people that they work with during the off season. So I think coaches, in a way, they have to kind of find this nice balance between like, we're going to play our top guys, but we do have to get some reps to this guy and that guy or whatever. I know it sounds like, hey, you're trying to make everyone happy, but I think at skill positions, it's fine, especially if you have guys that are up to snuff and can actually make plays when they're on the field. Now, a position like offensive line or whatever, you don't want to be rotating guys in and out unless you know for sure that they can play at a high level. But I think it works fine for skill positions. And I think you're going to see some of that with the cornerbacks this year. I think you're going to see some rotation at cornerback.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to get to next. But first of all, if you're watching this, we are live. Leave your questions. We're going to answer a couple questions towards the end of the podcast. Leave them in the comments. I see them all coming in. Appreciate everybody watching, man. And then, I'm going to hate on Notre Dame a little bit later on in this too. So, Gio, defensive backs, who's standing out? What I'm excited for, and I've asked this to you, I think when you were on your live show, the question I asked you was, last year we said defensive backs were a problem, right, going into the season. And it turned out to be a massive problem. I'm switching gears on you for a second, and then we'll get back to the defensive backs. This year, they're saying defensive line is a problem. It's not going to be on that same capacity, though, as the defensive backs. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Because we all know there's a problem at defensive line, like especially the tackles. But do you think it will elevate to the level as we were talking about the defensive backs last year?
I don't think it'll be as bad as that, but if I had to say the Achilles heel of the team this year, it is that defensive tackle depth. I get concerned after those first three guys. Like for example, your starters right now, the way it's been working throughout practice, mostly been Justin Scott and Ahmad Moen, and Ahmad Moen's having a really nice start to camp. After that, you got David Blade, Dante Simpson, and Dalen Russell. Artavius Jones had started practicing at the beginning of camp, got a little nicked up. Nothing serious. He will be back very shortly. But I just don't think they're deep enough there yet. I think Dante Simpson could give you some solid snaps this year. I think David Blade is going to play a ton, even if he's not starting. Just I get concerned with that deep end of the depth. Like if you have an injury or two, what happens? And this is why I've said throughout the offseason that I think guys like Ruben Bain, Hakeem Mesidor, Armando Blunt in particular, because he plays with a lot of power. He has great play strength and he's violent with his hands. I think he could excel as a defensive tackle in certain scenarios. And I think that's on the table there for him to play some snaps there, just so he can get on the field more. But I think that's the Achilles heel. I don't think it'll be as bad as defensive back last year. I think defensive back, some of the problems you saw too is I think they were just too small.
Yeah.
The size is not an issue with defensive tackles this year. I just think I don't think there's just enough guys.
Now, I think what you said, the defensive backs, we're getting back to the defensive backs now. They were small and they couldn't tackle. Let's be honest. We knew if you completed a pass against Miami, we knew your yards after catch, your yak, was going to be 5-10 more yards. Guaranteed. Because the first dude was going to miss or not even be around. So let's be honest about that. But what I like about this year compared to last year, every video is X burning somebody. It was the receivers just torching these defensive backs. What I love about, I've never been to one of the practices, but what I hear from you, from Dono, the people I respect, defensive backs are breaking up a lot more balls this year in practice than last year, and they look a lot better.
Yeah, they definitely do look better. I think in particular, if I had to highlight a few guys, Xavier Lucas, I think the craziest thing about what I'm about to say is he's the tallest guy in that cornerback room, but he also moves the best out of anyone, if that makes sense, which is, it wouldn't make sense when someone would think that. You think, oh, taller, maybe not as agile or whatever. No, that's not the case. He can move with the best of them, especially even watch it in terms of the drills of backpedaling and then turning back, looking for the ball. They've emphasized that this year. Coach Etheridge is every single day.
How many times did we yell at the TV last year, look back for the ball? It never happened. The last 5 seasons, it wouldn't happen. At least
actually, I'll give you a great point on that. Coach Etheridge got on OJ about that last week. They were going through drills, and one of them he didn't do correctly. And he was like, no. He's like, you need to get your head around for the ball. You need to turn your head around. He was emphasizing that. So OJ's had a nice camp too. Damari Brown's gotten a lot of burn with the ones. Ethan O'Connor in particular, he still has to put on a little more size, but from a coverage standpoint, he brings a lot of upside to that room. I think if you asked me, if you put a gun to my head today and said, oh, who's starting at corner against Notre Dame? I think you'll see Xavier Lucas and OJ as your starters, but I think Damari Brown's going to get starter level snaps. I know he's even still playing some nickel too or whatever. They're still experimenting with that. So he's played outside. He's playing some nickel. I can't get too deep into it, but there's they're getting really creative with how they're using the defensive backs as well, talking down to like using like 6 defensive backs on the field. I found that really interesting. But they have the guys to do it now, and they have the body types as well. Like you think of guys like Keontae Scott and Damari Brown and what you could do with those guys in different packages. That's all being experimented with. So I think there's going to be an exotic formation or two that I'm already aware of that people are going to be like, whoa, wait a minute, what is this? I can't talk about the alignment and
of course
how
not. Of
everything
course
is,
not.
but I think it's something that'll catch people's eyes and say, wait a minute, what is this? I haven't seen this before. So that, and the last thing I'll share about the cornerbacks, and then I'll mention something about safeties. Who is the other guy? Charles Brantley. I know everyone's thought, like, ever since Keontae Scott was brought into the program, as well as a transfer this offseason, that people thought, oh, maybe Brantley's not going to start anymore or whatever. I think that's going to be a rotation between those two guys. Brantley in particular, he had one of the practices last week. He had like 2 picks.
Nice.
And that was working between 1s and 2s. Like he's had a really nice start to camp. And Keontae Scott's a physical presence. So I feel comfortable about what they have at cornerback. Even some young guys like Jabari Antoine has flashed a bit. Chris Ewald, who works with like the nickels and the safeties, he's kind of flashed as well. He had a really good spring as well too. So there's pieces there, and there's guys with actual game experience now in there, and actual real talent and size and length. People ask me all the time, they're like, what's different with the defense this year? They're bigger. Like,
they're big.
The linebackers are bigger, they're longer, they're faster, they're more athletic. The defensive backs, same thing. So safety, I think it's a safe bet. Zachariah Poyser is one of your starters. There's kind of a competition going on right now between Dylan Day and Jacoby Thomas. Dylan Day is having an extremely good start to camp. And it's not only just breaking up passes against receivers. He's breaking up passes against guys like Elijah Lofton and Alex Bowman, who are not easy covers. Jacoby Thomas, I've mentioned this in some recent shows. I think he's going to be that enigma type where people are either going to love him or hate him at times. Out of anyone in that secondary, I think he's the most physical guy.
Is he the type of guy? What was that defensive back we had that every time he would get a flag? Not James.
Well, but I wouldn't put him down to like. I wouldn't mark him down as like Amari Carter, because like Amari Carter was like susceptible to that. It was almost guaranteed he was going to have a target in college game.
Yeah,
I don't think to that point. I think what he reminds me of. Do you remember during Rick's first year, a guy that was an Al Golden guy, but he had some struggles with Golden, but when Rick came in, they kind of got him right. Jamal Carter. Do you remember Jamal Carter?
Yes.
I could see some similarities there with Jacoby Thomas.
Got you. Big shout outs right now to all the Notre Dame people watching and all the Florida State people watching. Robert Hay, who's a big Notre Dame fan, he's talking trash with all our people in the comment. And I love that, man. I love it. Like I said, man, I'm all about the trolls. So Robert Hay, I see you. And I love that all the Cane fans are going back at you. I do want to talk about, we got the defensive backs. I do want to talk about linebacker, though. Okay, the one thing I see at linebacker already, just from everybody's reports, what I love is the speed. This line, they're big and fast, and Miami hasn't had that in a while either.
Yeah, you're right on point. You add guys like Kamal Bonner to your room, who's about 6'2", over 220 pounds. Mohamed Toure, 6'2", almost 240 pounds. Looks like he's built like a cyborg. You look at him, he looks like a Terminator, basically. And I mean, people have also they've had concerns because he has like the knee brace. There's reps that I've seen him take. I don't think there's any concern there with that. They were running some agility drills on Monday, and there was some reps I was watching from the far side of the field, and Mohamed Toure really stood out in terms of like when he made his cuts and how he bursted out of them. I thought was really impressive. He's got some really nice short area quickness as well. So Wesley Basaint's up to 230.
Wesley Basaint looks big.
Yeah, big. He's big, and he still moves the same too. He hasn't gotten slower. Popo Aguirre, he's up to like 240.
Okay,
Chase Smith is the guy. Go ahead.
Yeah, real quick. I haven't heard a lot about Popo. He's one name that I haven't been hearing the last couple of days.
I'll tell you why, because there's been a little bit of a development early in camp. When you talk about guys that have been working with that first group, and this is the feedback I've been getting, and it jibes because I saw this on Monday when they were running some 7-on-7 drills. Chase Smith had broken up 2 passes. Like, his length really stands out. And I think, you asked me, he looks as healthy as he's been since like his freshman year at Miami, because he's had a really bad run of injuries for a while now. And, you know, maybe he's a potential surprise on this team this year. You know, new coach. I mean, yeah, new linebacker coach, new defensive coordinator, new everything almost on defense. It's kind of like a clean slate for guys. And I've seen this happen even at Miami or other programs where a new coach comes in and a guy surges. I go back to one guy in particular, Michael Jackson, who played on the Mark Richt teams. He was an afterthought when Al Golden was around. When Mark Richt came in and new defensive back coaches came in, they got to work with him, and he became one of the better corners in the country when he was playing for Miami his last 2 years. So I always have the belief that don't try to write a guy off yet. And I'll mention another that people have been trying to write off for 3 years when we go back to O-line. But sticking to the theme of linebacker, Chase Smith has been running a lot with the ones, along with Wesley Dessaint and Mohamed Toure. And in particular, on Monday, he had 2 pass breakups that really stood out. Just the length. You're talking about a guy that's 6'2", 6'3", 230 pounds, can move, no more knee brace, no more leg sleeve or any of the sorts or compression stuff. He's healthy. He's healthy now. So I think that answers some of your question there on I think that
I love it. My kid came in, my daughter came in the other day during the pod. Hey, we're fathers too, you know. It is what it is. We're fathers doing this. I love it.
So yeah, no, he opened the door into here and came in. But I think that answers some of your questions. It's not so much that Popo's not doing anything. Popo's also out there. He's working with guys like Kamal Bonner and Cam Pruitt on that second group. Again, it's still early in camp. There's going to be scrimmages coming up. Pads will come on very soon. From what I understand, it's going to be this week. I think it's Thursday pads are coming on from what I overheard. We'll see. But pads start to separate guys too at certain positions. Linebacker, safety, I think defensive tackle, some too, offensive line. I think those are the ones that you kind of key in on with pads, and running backs for sure. When pads and contact is going.
What about Wiley, man?
He looks great too. I'm not sure yet exactly how much he's going to play. I think from an athleticism standpoint, it obviously stands out. He's like almost 6'4", 240 pounds. Runs.
Fast.
He's fast as heck. There was one particular rep when they were working on some pocket drills on Monday, and he came around the edge so fast. And then the next rep was Hayden Lowe doing something the same, but he was lined up as an edge. But the one from Wiley, he was at linebacker and was kind of creeping up to the line, and just how it looked like he was shot out of a cannon, how fast he got into the backfield. He also had a pass breakup yesterday, and one play in particular, this was in 7-on-7 reps. Carson Beck had gotten the ball out to a running back in the flats, and how fast Kellen Wiley closed in on him, I thought was pretty impressive in itself. Moves very well. Cam Pruitt is possibly the best coverage guy at linebacker that Miami has overall. You watch it in the drills that he goes up against the running backs and even the receivers. He had a pass breakup yesterday. He's had multiple interceptions in those scenarios too. Just really good coverage guy. He's getting bigger as well. I think just overall the linebacker room, it's bigger, they're longer, and they're faster. There's not much more I could share on it. I want to hear more of the feedback when contact is going on. I think that's going to be the tell-all.
This is all I have to say. The excitement Heatherman is bringing to the defense is when they talked to Akeem Messidor, and this was his face the whole time. That's all I remember. Him so happy. They were like, "How's the defense?" He was like, "Oh man, I love it. I love it." And I think they're going to thrive in it, man. I think they're going to love it. And he's bringing excitement. Even like people like you going out to practices, you're seeing the energy from it, and I love that.
Yeah. It's fun times right now. The team's super juiced right now. They're excited. Yeah. It's the beginning of camp. Hey, they're even having sleepovers in the locker room and everything. Gator fans, Seminole
fans. Did you see the video coming out of Florida State camp? How they look lackadaisical, and
you're talking about the defensive line drills they have. Right? Guys are literally missed. Yeah.
Why are they letting that video out? That's my only question. Why are you doing that?
They have videos like that, and then the receivers, how they're getting in and out of their breaks. It's like the most ridiculous rounded out thing. Like there's no sharpness to it. There's no intention to it. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Florida State, this is not from Gio. It's from me. You're trash. Notre Dame, you're trash. And Florida, you're trash. All right, Gio, let's talk about the offensive line.
Well, people have been asking for an updates on Samson Okunlola for the past 3 years. He got hurt his first year. Last year, he's behind some NFL guys. Francis Mauigoa, he's expected to be a first-round pick this year. Jalen Rivers, he was just selected. 2 guys in particular I'm going to note here. One being Samson. The next one's going to be Markel Bell. Samson's been getting a lot of burn with the first team, getting him some work at left guard. He's been working as the second-team left tackle. He's going to factor in this year. He's improved a lot from last year. And I think you even see Alex Mirabal kind of came to his defense at media day.
Yeah,
people were asking, oh, what about Samson? He's like, look, okay, he's developing. We feel he's going to be a player for us one day. And I don't know when that day is, but I do believe that day is going to come. Well, he's having his best camp so far of his career. He's in a competition with Matthew McCoy for that left guard spot. We'll see who ends up being the winner of that. But again, you hear Mirabal say it yesterday. He believes he has about 8 guys that can start. And I think it's justifiable what he's saying, because if I list it off, Markel Bell, Matthew McCoy, Ryan Rodriguez, Tommy Brockermeyer, Inez Cooper, Francis Mauigoa, that's already listed like 6 guys there, right?
And Tommy, right? 2?
And so that's 6 guys there. And then you also have Tommy Kinsler, who they feel really excited about him. Ever since last year, they love the progression he's made. And then you throw in Samson Okunlola. Yeah, that's roughly about 8 guys that could play. Ryan Rodriguez can play between guard and center. He's practicing more at center now, but I think they're building true depth on that offensive line. Like I've seen like what the second team unit looks there on the offensive line, and it's improved by leaps and bounds year over year. They're much better. We'll see if Okunlola wins the job, but even if he does, I wouldn't be surprised you see him in on some packages as a 6th offensive lineman. Mario Cristobal has shown that before during his time here. So we'll see. And on Markel Bell, though, basically what I was told is nothing gets past his side. He's stronger now, and he moves better too. Like he's reshaped his body as well. And just the statement was that he'd be shocked if he wasn't a serious NFL draft prospect this year. So
100%. Well, I even heard comments coming out that even Ruben Bain it's hard to get around that guy.
Yeah, I mean, he's 6'9". He's massive. He's like 7'2" wingspan. I think 7'2" or 7'3" wingspan. He's in much better shape this year, because when he got in last year, like they were still working on him, and you could even see it during the season of 2024 when he got in, when Rivers got banged up. You could see the progression week over week that he was getting better and better and better as he got more reps.
Yeah, man. I want to talk before we let you go, just about a little bit about the Notre Dame game, and these comments will change as we get closer and closer to the game. Where do you stand on my comment? If they stop the run, they win the game.
I agree with you. Reason being so is Notre Dame's having quarterback troubles. I've mentioned even before the quarterback troubles came out that CJ Carr would be his first start ever. Minchie hasn't played a lot of games in college football yet. So not a lot of experience at the quarterback position for them. And I think that's an advantage Miami has there. I think Miami's got a deep room of pass rushers in terms of defensive ends. And, I forgot that was one thing I forgot to say about Mohamed Toure. He's a monster rushing the passer as well. Like, yes, like he's been given the offense hell in that aspect. But I agree with you on that. My only thing though is I don't think they're going to be able to exactly stop the run. A guy like Jeremiah Love.
No,
I think you can only contain it to an extent. Like my thing is, if you could stop like the big gash plays, like preventing him from taking off for 70 yards or 60,
the
50
explosive
yards,
plays.
The explosive plays. If you can prevent that, I think you got a great shot. Sell out to stop the run, make their quarterbacks beat you. And the reason why I say this, you made all this investment on these defensive backs this year. This is the biggest challenge for them because those Notre Dame receivers are really good. Malachi Fields. And what's the other kid? Jaden Greathouse. And I believe they also have a tight end that's pretty good. Raridon as well. They got some guys. Miami's got some guys at defensive back now too. I think this is going to be a big litmus test for this team early on in the season. You're going to get a really good idea of what Miami's receivers room is and what their defensive back room is and their linebackers. I think that's the biggest thing. The linebackers they have to play their assignments. I don't think you're going to stop Jeremiah Love, but contain them to some type of level. You have to play assignment football.
My prediction is if they run for more than like 220 yards, we'll lose that game. Yeah. Like you got to keep them around 150. I expect them to run about 150, 160 in that area. If they go over like 220, I mean, that means they're getting gash plays. That means they're running all over Miami. So got to keep them under you got to keep them around 150 to me for sure to win the game. With Notre Dame, we hear their defensive backs are great. Last year they were like number 4, I believe, in the country. And I checked the stats. Like there were top 5 for sure. Their defensive backs as a group. They played a couple passing teams. And the teams that specialize in passing, they did pass on them pretty well. But what's your take about Carson Beck, our receivers versus their defensive backs who are great?
Well, I think it's going to be a great challenge for them. I think that's going to be the best defensive backfield they face the entire regular season. That's why I say I believe you're going to learn a lot about Miami's receivers group in game 1. It's going to be their biggest challenge of the year. I hope people don't get sour about it if it doesn't go entirely great. It's the best group they're going to face all year. I mean, unless they get in postseason and any other teams. But you gotta. Carson Beck has to keep Miami ahead of the chains, and why I feel comfortable about that is the feedback I've got and what I've seen from practice. There's still some timing things they got to work on, a little chemistry there, but it's improved day over day. The reason why I say that I feel comfortable about it, it's the veteran leadership he has too. Just in terms of how he goes through his progressions and his reads as well. If the first read is not there, he doesn't panic. He's cool, calm, collected, and he gets to the next guy and the next guy. And if it's not there, he goes to his check down. He doesn't go to big game hunt. And again, if there's one knock I had on Cam Ward, that was the one thing that would drive people crazy. And you saw it in the Georgia Tech game and you saw it in the Syracuse game, that those plays were not always there, and he was still hunting for them. And it kind of hurt Miami in some ways.
Yeah.
I'm not excusing the defense, though. The defense was putrid. But there was opportunities that were there that were just given up. Carson Beck is more – I don't think he's as talented as a Cam Ward, because Cam Ward was just insanely talented.
Yeah.
But I think from a mental aspect, I think he's advanced in that part of the game compared to how Ward was. And I know for a fact the Titans are having some of these problems with Ward right now, that they're trying to get him more comfortable. Like, hey, it's okay to take the check down. We need to stay ahead of the sticks. We need to keep moving the chains. So I think Beck, as long as he does that, as long as he can continue moving the chains and getting guys the ball consistently. I think he's going to elevate the receivers for sure.
I
don't think he has to go out there and light the world on fire, but as long as they're picking up first downs, I think they have a good shot of winning that game. I really think so.
I see Cam Ward was Mike Tyson throwing just bombs, right? And to me, Carson Beck is more like a Floyd Mayweather. Pop, 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 pop. Just a technician. You know, he knows what he's good at. And all the feedback I'm getting from what you've said, Donna, cool under pressure. Just, you know, this is his 6th year. This is like nothing to him. And it's not an arrogance about him. It's just, this is what he does. You know, this is what I do. So I'm excited, man. Like I said, I'm excited for the game. Big shout out to all the Notre Dame people that watched the podcast. I love firing y'all up yesterday. But man, we both have great fan bases, and this is why we love college football, though, right, Gio? I mean, it's so exciting. Like, we are 26 days away from what we feel like is the biggest game in the world, and then the next week is going to be the biggest game in the world, and the next, you know, so. But we're excited, man. Gio, where can people follow you?
Yeah, everyone can find me on X at Gio Million. Also have a weekly show, and it's almost turning into daily now with this time of year with Amon Richards on YouTube. It's if you look it up on YouTube, youtube.com/, you put at @whowantSmoke_Inc. You could also find me on the Caneswear podcast. Make sure, everyone, that you shop at Caneswear at Miami Fanwear, located at 2655 South University Drive in Davie, Florida. There is the no tax month for August going on right now, so you can save some money. If you sign up today at caneswear.com, you can get 10% off on your first order too, as well. So if you're a big Caneswear,
Gio, just for you, I'm gonna order something from Caneswear today. Do I need to put a code in for you, or it's just
there's not a code active right now, but there might be something coming up.
Get a code, Gio, so we can put it out there.
Yeah, it's certain times of the year that the code comes up. So I'll mention that too. But I do know that it's 10% off if you sign up on the store for your first order.
And then I want to mention this too before you leave. Once again, August 29th, 4:30, Fort Lauderdale Improv. We're doing a Gio and Yo podcast. Ex-players are going to pop by. Who knows who's going to pop by? But as long as you pop by, the people that watch this podcast, the people that listen to Gio, it's free to get in. That's the one thing me and Gio talked about. We were like, we don't want to charge anybody. This is just for Miami fans. You have to RSVP, though. And at the top of this, I'm going to put the link up there again, but at the top of the podcast in the comments, there is the link. RSVP, free to get in. You got to buy your food and drinks, but we're going to have a good time. And we're just going to celebrate Miami and the big game. And hey, if you're a Notre Dame fan in there, you can come too. You can get it. I'm down with that. I want Notre Dame fans there too. We'll have some fun with you. So Gio got the podcast going. Discord, did we talk about that?
Yeah, no. If anyone wants to get signed up to the Discord, I think sometimes people get confused is when they join it. I think they may get lost sometimes on how to subscribe. You go to the side menu there on Discord when you're on. It's the place is called Gio's private board.
Yeah.
You go to the side menu when you see server subscriptions all the way at the top left. Go in there. You can subscribe right in there. There are paragraphs and paragraphs of information, of feedback I am getting out of practice, not from what I'm just seeing, what is being shared with me. There's a lot of good stuff. There's great stuff going on. There's only so much I could fit even into a show as well. But people have been really appreciative for everything that I've been doing throughout the start of fall camp. And I'm really appreciative for the support from people as well. But yeah, you can find the link to that right on my X page, actually. If you go on x.com /@Gio Million, first link right there in the bio. It's right on there. You feel free to join. Has a free board as well, but the free board doesn't get as active as the premium board.
All right. And for all the people watching, please like and subscribe to my podcast. I started this last season. We just went over like 1,820 people. And for me, that's great. I'm so excited. We keep building and we keep going. And we got over 400 people that's been watching this live with me and you, Gio. So, man, we appreciate y'all. And we'll see you next time. Gio, thank you so much, man.
Of course, anytime.
All right. Go Canes. We'll see you. Peace. Hang on one